Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Techman Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. Today's December 8th. It's 6:28 p.m. here in Arizona, and I thought that I would go live and quickly chat about, the top 5 stocks that are possibly worth paying attention to as Bitcoin trades at 100,000 per coin. So again, please feel free to share whatever stock it is that you are paying attention to this week. Would love to break it down for you. I do host one of these live streams for free every single Sunday. So just feel free to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you get alerted the next time that I go live. If you are tuning on in live, all you would have to do is actually be subscribed to the channel to be able to partake in that live chat. Once you guys can hear me and see me okay, let me know in that live chat and we can go ahead and kind of get right into it. I mean, I really don't want to take too much of your guys' time. What's going on, Lux Bright? What's up? What's up? Hope that you guys are all doing well. Let's quickly look at where BTC is currently at. So again, I personally do not trade crypto myself. It's not a focus that I have, but obviously with crypto being incredibly relevant right now, there's a lot of stocks that are moving on the bull side of things, meaning that they're going long and going up. And there's a lot of money to be made, even if you are not directly invested in crypto. If you think that crypto is overbought and due for a correction, there's different outlets and stocks that you can either short or go long on that can make you money as crypto retraces. Or if you're bullish on crypto and you think that it's going to continue to go up, right? Why not let's have that conversation and, also be self-aware of what stocks are available that you can go long on, that if crypto continues to go up, those can go up. Maybe you don't feel as comfortable trading on those crypto exchanges due to the fees or due to whatever the case might be. You feel safer, obviously, in the stock market as it tends to be more regulated. Let's go ahead and break it down. I'm going to be talking about 5. I'm going to start off with the first 3, and I'm going to have you guys that are tuning on in pick the last 2. Okay. So the first one that we have to talk about is, obviously, as we talk about Bitcoin, has to be the most popular one. Can I give credit where it's due? MSTR, MicroStrategy. I'm just kidding. That's an old joke. I know you guys are over it already. But pretty much MicroStrategy is a software company. At least it originally was. But the co-founder ended up taking a different approach. I think his name is Michael Saylor, and he is pretty much just going all in on Bitcoin. This company has gone so heavy that I think it has like over $30 billion worth of Bitcoin. Their most recent purchase that has been recorded was buying like $5 billion more worth of BTC at $98,000 per coin. I think their average purchase price is right around $55,000 to my understanding. And again, they hold a lot of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does continue to go up, most likely MSTR is likely to go up as well. But the part that a lot of people have or do not fully understand is that MicroStrategy is trading off of the hype that Michael Saylor has pretty much warranted for this company. And it's because of Michael Saylor and his philosophy. All he really does is buy Bitcoin. He's incredibly bullish on Bitcoin. The market cap of this is $80 billion. The really funny thing about this is that if you remove all of the debt, MicroStrategy has about $30 billion in crypto. So it is trading nearly at 3 times of what it actually carries in that inflated asset. That's not taken into consideration that if Bitcoin does begin to fall, what do you think is going to happen with MicroStrategy? If Bitcoin falls 5 or 10%, just like when Bitcoin gained 5 or 10% and MicroStrategy gained 20 to 60%, I believe it's going to be the same reaction. On the way up, because of the bulls and because of the hype, you guys have to understand when it's a momentum play and when there's a lot of excitement. I'm not here to discredit MicroStrategy, and I don't really care to get into that within this video. You just have to be aware that when there's a lot of hype behind a stock, it begins to outpace and outperform the underlying asset or reason itself. So MicroStrategy, when crypto or Bitcoin was gaining 10%, MicroStrategy would gain 20, 30, 40%. So I believe in the same way that if Bitcoin begins to fall 10 or 20%, then MicroStrategy will fall twice to 3 times that. Again, you guys let me know what you think. It's not that Bitcoin has to fall. Bitcoin is not showing any signs of it selling off. If you look at Bitcoin, right, you guys know that I love talking my crap, but Bitcoin is consolidating. It is not bearish. There is no break of pattern. This thing is still, its price action is still bullish. It's consolidating and maybe it's slowing down. A lot of crypto traders say it's holding up there and preparing for the next big rally, right? Which can be the case. Everything that has pushed crypto and Bitcoin higher up has kind of been like out of left field. And the hype is still here. So instead of trying to force something to happen, just wait for it, right? We have our alerts. If Bitcoin begins to trade below 90,000, that could be a first signal of like, hey, let's set our alerts. And if Bitcoin falls below that, most likely MicroStrategy will begin to retrace down to 300. If then Bitcoin continues to sell off, then MicroStrategy will continue to sell off as well. I want to make you aware that it doesn't have to crash. Of course, if Bitcoin continues to rally, if there's enough hype, it could push MicroStrategy up even higher. But I think you guys are beginning to see that the hype is beginning to fade with MicroStrategy. Crypto, when it exceeded and hit highs of 104,000, MicroStrategy, right? Bitcoin hit new all-time highs. MicroStrategy didn't hit new all-time highs. Again, because there's already a huge disconnect with how inflated the price is on MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy is my go-to. If Bitcoin is going up, I can go long on MicroStrategy. But if Bitcoin begins to go down, I can go short on MicroStrategy, meaning that I would make money as MSTR begins to sell off in value. I would not recommend shorting to any beginner that is watching this video. It just comes at a different form of risk. I want to be very, encouraging when it comes down to that. As well as, how do I express this? My trades are day trades. I do not carry any of these positions overnight. MicroStrategy is an incredibly volatile stock, and I just don't feel like enough people talk about this. If any stock it is that you are trading moves 10, 20% within a given day, it's extremely volatile. I know a lot of you crypto traders can tolerate that. That's not my forte. That's not what I want myself to be put through. I trade with a decent dollar amount that a 10 to 20% movement can be very significant. I want to make you self-aware of that. So if you do choose to trade this, you know exactly what you are opening yourself to. MicroStrategy is not a stock that's designed for beginners. It's very volatile. It comes at a greater form of risk, and you need to respect that on the bull side and on the bear side, which is why I focus so much on risk management and position size in my videos, right? So again, that's just another reason on why I choose not to carry the position overnight. The second one that I quickly want to talk about, I think one of you guys brought it up, is Mara. Have you guys heard about Mara? Can I get a show of hands? Is this pre-recorded? Quandale Dingleberry. It's so pre-recorded that I knew exactly what you were going to say, and I recorded it and uploaded it just in time. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not pre-recorded. It's live. So if you want me to break down your stock, share it in that live chat. So I've traded Mara a lot. Great. So this is how I know that the hype behind investing in Bitcoin is beginning to fade. When other people and other companies begin to replicate the same strategy that MicroStrategy was implementing. If you guys look at any articles, you guys would know that Mara is pretty much like a copycat for MicroStrategy. Mara is notorious for pump and dumps. This is how I am more confident that MicroStrategy will fail. Because when you have companies that have a history of just doing anything but actually running a successful company just to jump into the hype, just to manipulate the price. Mara is notorious and has a history of pumping and dumping. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. Look at the history. It pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps. And again, these pumps sometimes do last longer than others. Sometimes it does look very convincing, but one thing is certain, it always dumps, dumps, dumps. And again, we shall see eventually if this leads to a dump, right? Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to, but I know a lot of, I've seen it in the comments, a lot of Reddit traders, a lot of those, nose picker traders are just fiending on Mara. Again, please know when to take profits. If the hype is present and price action is in your favor, sure, I wouldn't be afraid to day trade it. But to carry a position when something is so inflated, let me just show you. At these overbought levels, if Mara does begin to retrace back to previous lows, that's a 30% sell-off. Again, for you crypto traders, you might be like 30% is nothing. It's a ton of money, so why do we pretend like it's not? A 30% loss is so significant. Like, you will get margin called. You will never be able to, if you're already heavily leveraged, be able to leverage that same amount of capital again. I feel like crypto has made a lot of traders so numb to the idea of 30% is not even a big loss. Again, I guess it's just whatever you're comfortable opening yourself up to. I think it's a terrible position to be in, especially if price action is not on the bull side of things. Right now, it's pretty much trading sideways. And if Bitcoin begins to fall, it wouldn't surprise me that Mara will follow. The second one that I want to talk about is I have calls on SMCI and PLTR for next Friday. What is your take on two? What's going on, PJ? I actually want to talk, we're really talking about more of crypto stocks, right? Palantir is like, how do I put this? Palantir has to be one of the wildest stocks for 2024 out of left field. Do I think that, do I think it belongs at a $173 billion market cap? No. Am I going to trade against it? Heck no. Oh my gosh. Like I've tried it before and one of my trades did do well. One of my other trades did not do well when it came down to this. I trade in front of my LPP team all the time. And there's a joke of like, dude, I do not want to trade against Palantir because of how incredibly bullish this stock is. So it's just good news after good news. And to keep it very simple, there is no break of pattern, right? If I want to short something, if I want to make money as something is selling off, it's clear as day, right? You want it to break its pattern. You want it to begin to show signs of lower lows and lower highs. I mean, Palantir has a history of that before, right? Where it's confirming an active sell-off, lower highs and lower lows, whatever that might look like, right? Palantir has not had that recently. And although you and I might not agree that there's no reason this thing should be trading up here, remember, a momentum play is as long as momentum is present and there's no break of pattern, let it run. And I want to respect that with Palantir as well. There's so much good news. I don't know what would eventually tip it on over. It's up an incredible amount in 2024. Just set your alerts and move on. If you want to go long on it, that could even make sense because it's so incredibly bullish. But all that it ever pulls back to is the EMA. The times that it actually pulls on back to the moving average is rare, slim to none. So again, I would not be in a rush to short Palantir just because of how incredibly bullish it has shown to be. So let me know what you guys think about that. Again, you guys know that I love shorting, especially when a stock is incredibly overbought. I love trading reversals, and overbought reversals are just one of those. But you have to give credit where it's due, and you have to respect the trend. I've tried it many times where I'm like, no, this thing has to pull on back. Remember, we're a drop of water in this vast ocean. Like, there's no reason to try to force something to happen that isn't actually happening. Eventually, if there's a trigger or a catalyst that sends Palantir crashing, I hope I'll be quick enough to jump in. But until now, let this sucker run, make your money, and bounce. Okay? Let's go ahead and do two more. So 2 more that are crypto-based. Would love to break it down. What else are we going to be doing? I'm going to let you guys decide on this one. SMCI, let's do Tesla because SMCI is not really correlated to crypto, right? I think Tesla should be a good one to cover because of the huge gap up that it had into the close on Friday. Tesla is at 52-week highs. It's not at all-time highs, but it's getting incredibly close. If you look at previous patterns, you can see the highs before are 414 per share based off of its stock split. It is absolutely running up. I've never seen a combination of things like this. This is almost kind of like the Palantir setup, where do I believe Tesla's fundamental value is there right now? No. I think Tesla is running off of the hype of Elon, one of the most influential people in today's world, has Trump as his right-hand man. He's going to be very involved according to what things look like in the Trump administration. At least that's what it looks like. Maybe if some negative news starts to come out, then reality can begin to sink in for Tesla. But until now, there is no reason to overcomplicate it. Tesla's incredibly bullish. Let it continue to do its thing. But we all know one thing. Tesla has a history of being incredibly volatile. As quick as it rips up, once again, and if it begins to curl on over, it will also retrace. So stay patient, stay calculated. Tesla does have Bitcoin in its balance sheets, to my understanding. I think they own like 10,000 Bitcoins, something like that. And that's why I thought that we could cover it. But other than that, again, I don't feel like it's really running off of the Bitcoin hype. I think it's really running off of just the Trump partnership. I've never seen anything like this where a CEO of a publicly traded company has such a powerful connection and influence to one of the most powerful positions in the world, and that's the president of the United States. So I'm excited to follow up. I'm a huge Elon fanboy, but there is no question that in the short term, yes, Tesla is incredibly overvalued. If you look at the fundamental way that Tesla was trading, it was actually bearish right before Trump was announced the winner. And Tesla was selling off after it had its robo-taxi event, after it reported its quarterly earnings. But as of right now, in my opinion, fundamentally, it's not about that. It's just running off of the hype, and we have to respect it for the time being. Remember, short term, it's bullish, and short term, it's overbought. So again, just take that into consideration. All right, what's the last one that we're going to end it with? All right, QBTS, what is that? What is this? Can you explain to me what this is? Is this some AI BS? Holy smokes. Let me look this up. It's some AI BS, yeah. Quantum computing stocks, roundup, D-Wave, yeah. Man, it's just, I think this is so again, this is a momentum play. I don't like talking about penny stocks. I don't like promoting these kind of trades to our beginners. I find them to be incredibly risky, and a lot of beginners don't know how to take profits, manage their position size, or mitigate risk. I think that if you're experienced and you know how to do what I just talked about, then sure, this can be a very lucrative play because you know that this probably won't last. If you are naive enough to think that whatever news is being shared is actually going to put you in a position that this is the new NVIDIA, whatever they try to sell you on, remember, it's not going to be the new NVIDIA overnight. It's not going to be the new NVIDIA in just a few months. Remember, hype is all one present like this. It had no volume. You could see the lack of volume, the strong descending pattern, and then all of a sudden, price action began to change. Volume began to spike. Huge pumps, little dump. Huge pumps, little dump. So again, the pumps and the dumps, and then eventually, most likely, it will correct itself. And it has a history of doing this. So again, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I want you to make your money. I don't know how much you would be up. Are you up 100%, 50%, 20%? All I'm saying is that eventually this hype will fade. And I wanted to make a detailed video on it, not just on things like this, but I think that I was just using XRP as an example. Some people got offended based off of the video that I uploaded earlier today because I called XRP a pump and dump. It went from 50 cents per share all the way up, not per share, per coin, to $2.80 or something like that per coin. So it's up over 350% in 30 days. My thing is, I feel like beginners get fed the idea that this thing has to continue to run. My job, for someone that has the following that I do, I see all kinds of things, the good and the bad. And I just know that if I make videos that simply make beginners aware, so simply they can make a more informed decision, taking downside risk into consideration or reducing their position at overbought levels, so at least they take some of their profits, because we all know one thing. And maybe you don't. Maybe you truly don't. Maybe you truly believe the news that XRP is going to be the new currency. Or maybe you believe that QBTS is going to be the new NVIDIA. All I'm here to tell you is that it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in the short term. When something pumps 350% in a short period of time, it can continue to pump. I've seen pumps that go up 1,000%. That's not the concern. The concern is, when is enough enough? When are you going to take profits? Because you're never going to be able to time a trade perfectly. And that is what I try to emphasize and express within my videos. And maybe I need to make a video that simply talks about the profit potential, but also quickly and clearly I break down what you are putting at risk behind those kinds of trades, because I think that's where beginners lack. All they think about is the what if it continues to go up. I can't sell now. I'm up 100%. I'm going for 1,000. And it's always the same thing. You grow and grow and grow, and then the dollar amount that you grew outpaces your understanding of how these markets work. And I don't care if it's crypto, I don't care if it's Forex, I don't care if it's the stock market. All these financial markets work the same. You get enough people to pump up these stocks within a short period of time, they will go, but eventually they will bust. We call it the rubber band effect. The further you pull that rubber band, eventually that rubber band will snap. And I just want to remind you that, again, if you are a beginner, all I encourage you to do is take your downside risk into consideration. You don't need to sell. But if things do begin to slow down and you begin to see a turn of events, then maybe it just encourages you to reduce your exposure of risk. And that's all I ever try to preach within my channel. Make your money. Lock in those profits when you see to be fit. I truly want to see all of you guys win. I just hate to hear stories of when someone was up 500%. They bag held that position. They use whatever they want as a scapegoat on why it's sold off and crashed, and then they blame everyone else for their mistake. No, it was simply your inability to accept that the pump was over. And sometimes it takes experience for you to understand that. So again, I just hope that maybe after I make that video, people will understand kind of more of my intention with these videos. I know sometimes I can be a little snarky, especially to a lot of the pumpers in the comment section, but I want you to know where my intentions come from, and that's just looking out for our beginners. So wish you guys nothing but the best. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you feel like we earned it. And again, I trade live every day. I don't do call outs. I don't tell you where to buy or where to sell a stock. I simply trade live, and you can join for as little as $1 a day. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. And if you want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, it is lifetime access. So it's the second link in the description down below. I appreciate your time. I hope you guys have an amazing Sunday, and I wish you a successful trading week. But remember, stay calm, stay calculated, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care.